The most important work that we do with folks that come in the door is try to connect them with other programs and services. And for a lot of these people, that involves listening to their story because they've got a story to tell, and sometimes they've never been listened to.
St. John, New Brunswick is a port city with a population of just over 70,000 people, with high percentages of poverty, teen pregnancy, and homelessness. There are many who work tirelessly in non-profit organizations to help make the lives of these people a little bit better. Here are some of their stories.
In this community, one of 8 cities in the province, is one where we have pockets of vulnerability and marginalization that really need to be addressed. And the good news is that they are being addressed by a number of community-based organizations that are incredibly ably led and that have passionate employees and committed boards, and they're doing lots of good work. And it's a good thing because we're living in a region, in a census metropolitan area, that accounts for about 125,000 people.
My name is Jamie Hall and I'm with Outflow Ministry. We serve meals 5 evenings a week, so Sunday through Thursday night at various locations uptown St. John. We've gone through having a space, a building on Waterloo Street, to not having a building, and kind of going from having a home to being homeless. So even as an organization, we kind of understand a little bit of what it means to have something and then have it taken away and to have to start all over again. So a couple years ago, when we had our building lost, we had to start back on the streets, and we created some moments of courage and just moments just to stay strong and to not give up. And I think the biggest thing with Outflow is that we really encourage people not to give up, not to just kind of say, okay, I'm done, I'm throwing in the towel, and so we try to show that as well. I mean, we sit down with people and we have a meal together, and we get to know one another, and I guess we're starting now to cross over into the whole developmental side of things. And so recognizing that I have a friend, this is his or her name, and you're a person, I'm a person, we have issues, we have struggles, let's work them through together, and now how are we going to get through that? And so we've learned that success isn't really determined on the size of your brain, the size of your thinking. And we just encourage people to go out and to get jobs and to pursue their dreams no matter what kind of place they're at. So we're seeing all kinds of people that maybe in the real world shouldn't really look like they should succeed, but they're coming through major addictions and getting off of stuff that looks crazy and starting fresh.
I was so surprised of the support of the community. The Greater St. John community has helped us in every way since the day we've opened, and continues. Everything from diaper drives to baby showers to decorating our rooms. The beautiful room we're in now, completely renovated by a community group. So it's amazing, absolutely amazing, everything from monetary to in-kind donations that the community has done and rallied around to keep our doors open. People always ask me, if we have success stories, and obviously I can tell you that we've had 276 success stories because we've had 276 women who've come to our doors saying, help me. Success can be anything from staying off drugs while they're pregnant so that they can give birth to a healthy baby. Our stories of success are 40 women graduating from our high school since we opened in 2006. All of them who have said that they would have never graduated from high school if they had to go back to the regular system. Women who are reunited with their children and their families, women who get services with mental health, women who are connected to community groups. The successes are unbelievable. There are certainly stories that are not so good, and those are when women and children who come to First Steps don't fit in our group. So they might have more than one children and we don't accommodate that, or that their addiction or mental health issues may be such that they're not ready to parent. And we're finding that there's gaps in services in the community with regard to longer term supports for addiction and mental health for women who have children And so those are the sad stories where we can only do so much, and then there's gaps in the community to help them further.
AIDS has been around so long. I mean, we have young people now that have never known a world without AIDS. The great things about working here is that you do see people go through transformations. People might come in and they seem very broken. We see people get connected and work with different agencies and groups and find their groove, so to speak, that people can make pretty big transformations in their life. And I think that it's very heartening when we see those things happen. It's fair to say, you know, we've got a pretty varied population that we work with. People generally have come from all walks of life. So I think that what we need to do, and to continue to do, is to work as a community to find the solutions that make the most sense.
Part of my job as a community developer is working in the priority neighborhoods, and for the last 9 years the Old North End has been the neighborhood that I've spent most of my time in. The needs in the Old North End are complicated because you can't work on any one issue without dealing with all of the other issues. So we may have come together with the police department to work on crime, but unless you're working on health, unless you're working on education, unless you're working on all of those other social factors, you really can't have an impact on crime. So we learned quite early on that unless we were dealing with the totality of the issues that were happening in the Old North End, we really weren't going to make a difference.
I work for Coverdale Center for Women. I'm the Emergency Shelter Director. Housing. Affordable housing is our greatest need. The women that I see, for the most part, their income is $537 a month. So if you can just imagine what rent would cost for even a bachelor apartment, it doesn't leave much money even if you can afford to pay. So affordable housing, number one.
Housing Alternatives is a nonprofit organization that provides management and development services to housing co-ops and nonprofit housing organizations in the St. John and surrounding area. I think one of the most positive things about the St. John community is their willingness to work together.
The St. John Communal Home Fund was created in 1999, and the reason it was to help people create income, get back to work, start businesses. It recruits investors that invest in the loan fund, basically lend us money, and we lend it out to people on low income to become more self-reliant. To look at social enterprise as an option for transitioning people to work in St. John as well as New Brunswick. That's always a perennial thing. You have to continue to be creative and look for opportunities and hopefully keep your growth within your mandate.
We're a poverty reduction organization, I guess you would say, working mostly with low-income women and trying to make a difference. We have most recently been offering a leadership training program for low-income women in priority neighborhoods called Power Up. And that program was developed with low-income women. They helped us to set up that curriculum and the program and how it would work. And, you know, we've graduated over 130 women at this point. Really, I had no idea how difficult it is to live in poverty.
A typical day for me is usually anything but typical. The days that I think are going to be the easiest are the hardest, and the things that I think are going to be the hardest are the easiest. I usually get my heart broke about 4 times a day. I don't know what intervenes, but right after that happens, something walks in and makes me totally believe it's all worth it again, and makes me see how amazing the people I work with are. Some of the hardest days as a youth worker are Fridays at 5 o'clock, right? Because you know that their resources are shutting down and their life isn't going to stop happening. We need to, as a community, have our supports, have something available for our vulnerable kids at all times, because they need it at all times, right? We can't dictate when good or bad things happen. We can't dictate when you're in trouble and when you need help.
It's very important that each learner that comes through has a path, and that it's not a revolving door, that we know where they're going and that we've helped them get to where they need to go. The Learning Exchange has evolved and grown. We do literacy, GED preparation, we do workplace essential skills programming. We do a variety of things depending on the learner's needs. We work with people who live in poverty, people who are in the priority neighborhoods in St. John. We get referrals from case managers, employment counselors to the province. We get a lot of walk-ins, and our biggest referral source would be word of mouth from other learners who come.
Vibrant Communities is an organization that tries to alleviate poverty in St. John, New Brunswick. Often people who live in poverty are dealing with many issues around self-esteem and lack of worth. So it's helping people to gain the confidence and the realization that they have assets to offer and things to contribute to their own communities.
Center is a facility that serves youth between the ages of 12 to 24, and we look at the needs of each youth independently, and our biggest thing is to make sure that all needs of the youth are being met in the community and that there is a youth voice that's heard and listened to.
We see youth who are referred through guidance counselors and teachers, and they have a specific need, so we meet them and we go over their needs and set goals. I can have a kid doing great things in school and keeping a part-time job, but they're going from unsafe home to unsafe home. It doesn't feel good to sleep at night.
Seeing their self-esteem get higher, just seeing them be happy in this place is really rewarding.
We don't ever see a bad youth. We see a youth with parents who are not present. We see many youth who have bad situations going on, but they're often not in control of any of it. So we don't have bad youth. Kids who steal often need something, and that's why they're stealing. Kids who are addicted are trying to cope with a very bad life.
We have kids who come here just to hang out at the drop-in because they feel a sense of belonging. They want to have fun. They get involved in volunteer activities in the community. And then we have youth who literally are homeless, absolute homeless, and we work with them to try to find them a safe place to live. And then we have kids who are just, floundering a little bit. They're not sure where they are in the educational system. They want to make some changes in their life, and that's what they come to us for. So it really can be from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Everything relates to housing. So if we have a youth who is struggling with addiction, mental health, education, it all comes back to having a stable home environment.
So it's about community, it's about rehabilitation, it's about helping people see their potential, it's about thinking bigger, it's about giving us an opportunity to see something amazing happen, to see lives change. So that's why we do it.
St. John is a wonderful community with deep history and incredible people that stand behind each other. Although we are facing some serious challenges ahead, it is a community that has always taken care of its own and always will.